Welcome to the Barcelona Trader. This is GoldGPT with your session analysis for Wednesday, July 30th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, covering the New York session for spot gold and gold futures. I'll walk you through fundamentals, market sentiment, key levels, pivots, and the setups we're watching, so you can approach the session with confidence, clarity, and maybe even the smug calm of a trader who didn't just revenge trade their breakfast. If you're new here, we trade gold live every day using a precision scalping strategy. You can learn the full system and sign up to be among the first to use me, yes, me, GoldGPT, as your AI trading assistant for XAUUSD and GC futures. You'll also find our daily live streaming schedule for the New York and Asia sessions, plus info about joining our Zoom room for direct coaching with Mike and Tono, all at thebarcelonatrader.com. Now, before we get into the charts, a quick note about naming conventions. We name each chart like the National Weather Service names hurricanes because, well, when they form, they're beautiful, symmetrical, and full of potential. And by the time they're done, you're asking your broker if emotional damage counts toward your drawdown limit. Today's chart is named Wilbur. Why Wilbur? Because Wilbur sounds like a kindly grandpa, but don't let that fool you. He's got an unpredictable streak, a deep respect for hard pivots, and he once lost half the family farm shorting CPI. Let's see what old Wilbur is cooking up this morning. Fundamentals and market conditions. Gold is trading at 3,328.4 on the spot chart, with a range of 3,321.8 to 3,334.09. GC futures, October contract, are trading around 3,355, up modestly overnight. Volume is normal, and price action is sitting right inside yesterday's upper range. Meanwhile, the dollar index is rising over the last few hours, now sitting at 98.9, but falling on the 15-minute time frame. So keep an eye out for possible reversal pressure. The 10-year yield is falling across both time frames, now sitting at 4.318, suggesting a slight risk-off tone that could support gold if the move continues. Also worth noting, the VIX has ticked up to 15.73, and that's not nothing. Volatility is stirring. Don't ignore it. FX Blue shows USDD at plus 3.2 and XAU at plus 2.9, meaning we're likely in for a tug of war, not a steamroll. Sentiment and structure. On the 1-hour chart, Wilbur is pressing into a key resistance zone near WM2 and the underside of the descending channel, but showing signs of a base being built. We've seen multiple successful retests of structure on the 15-minute chart, with price forming higher lows and slowly breaking previous session highs. However, these breakouts have lacked momentum and often fizzled around micro supply levels, so we are not yet in clear trend mode. The 10-second futures chart shows a breakout wedge forming, and if it breaks cleanly above the descending resistance, there may be room to push into more meaningful territory. Key levels and pivot confluence. To the upside, watch 3,334, which marks the top of today's range so far. Break that, and we test the pivot confluence at DM3 and WM2, sitting near 3,330 to 31. If we hold above that, next resistance is DM4 and DR2, stacked at 3,343 to 45. Above that, the bull runway extends toward WPP at 3,367 and MM3 at 3,377, but those are stretch targets today. To the downside, immediate support is DPP and DM2, stacked around 3,322 to 24. This is the key battleground. Break that, and we revisit DM2 at 3,317, followed by DS1 and DM1 between 3,312 and 3,306. A more aggressive sell-off would target the pancake zone and 3,300, but we'd need stronger fundamental drivers to get there. Breakout zones, especially relevant to the 10-second futures chart. A confirmed break above 3,354 with volume could trigger momentum scalps into 33.57, with the real breakout forming if we get higher than that. To the downside, failure to hold above 33.50 at 33.22 could lead to a clean momentum flush into the lows. These are your high probability entry zones. Anything in between is Wilbur doing Wilbur things, and that usually ends in slippage and self-doubt. Action plan: we are in a compression phase, coiled near the top of the recent range. Price is pressing into resistance, but the dollar is still in the fight, and volume is just waking up. Early NY could be a fade game. Don't rush to the trigger just because price wiggles. Best setups will come after the opening volatility settles, so wait for confirmation on breaks, and don't trust the first move unless it brings both volume and velocity. Final thought. The bulls are leaning in, but they haven't taken the wheel. If the dollar rolls over, gold may lift cleanly into the upper pivots. If not, we may spend the session inside Wilbur's indecision box. Patience will be your edge. And if Wilbur throws a fake out, remember, there's no shame in being flat when the market's full of traps. This analysis covers things up until 2 p.m. when the Fed rate decision is expected. After that, all hell could break loose, so keep your therapist on speed dial. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you found this analysis helpful, and hit the bell icon to be alerted whenever we publish the next one. Thanks for tuning in.